All right, here we go. Some Sliver action. I think we're going to keep this one. It's obviously very risky. And you make the argument that, hey, with this collected company hand, it's basically a mulligan anyways. That said, we have the Aether Vial. And the spell coach can be very good. That's now that we know we're against Tron and on the draw, it's a little less exciting, but we're just going to see what we can do here. This is a very obviously this is a fairly greedy keep, but I learned when you're playing Merfolk, if you can't keep one land vial hands, you just you haven't lived. It's just how these decks work, in my opinion. A lot of the time, you just have to be willing to take that risk. Now, on the draw against Tron, where he probably has a turn 3 Tron going on. He's got 2 on 2. Yep. Turn 3 Tron. Yep. That was close. This is obviously going to be an issue. We hit a forest. That's a good start. I guess we just go ahead and try to turbo. Actually, we just have to hit the. We just have to play Spellskite, so that if he plays Karn and minuses to try to kill our land or Aether Vial or whatever, we can redirect it. But I mean, we're probably just dead because our opponent very skillfully had a turn 3 Tron on the play. So we'll see. Yep. Felt close. Yep, that's what we thought would happen. Okay, well, we played around that as best we could. I don't really think there's a way in which we're going to win this game, but we'll do our best. We do have the Aether Vial on the to get on one to get our Go Rider in here. If we had another 2-mana Lord, we could kill Karn. That would be pretty incredible. We instead hit another Aether Vial. Okay, so even another land there to play. Well, a swamp land would have made this work. As is, that will not be the case. We'll simply play another Vial. Play this Sinew Sliver. Get in at Karn for 2. And see where we go from here. I mean, we can pitch probably the Collected Company, I guess. This doesn't even do anything if we got a swamp, so. Yeah, I'm not really sure what our plan is here. It's basically for him to have nothing, but it's a Tron deck, so that's just not going to be the case. It's very tilting playing against Tron. I feel like a lot of decks in Modern try to do stuff, and Tron's like the fun police, only in, Twin used to be the fun police, but it also was a deck that, had decisions a lot of the time, took a lot of things to play. This deck is just full of like autopilot ways to have Tron on turn 3 without any real decisions to be made. It's not a knock against anyone who plays the deck, because it's obviously a good deck and there's nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't lead to very fun games of Magic. And there goes our board. And he's got the Worm Coil. Okay, this has been close. Okay, well, we'll do what we can. Continue playing Magic here. We can vial in the Harmonic Sliver. Our opponent did nothing with Karn because he just didn't want a card out of our hand, I guess. Makes sense. Actually, I'm just going to take this because we have to poke at Karn. Whatever. Like I said, I don't really see a way to win this game, but we'll try here. If Slivers had a Silver Girl Adept, a Sliver that drew a card when it came into play, that would be so good. All right, the ruse is up. He has remembered to use Karn this time. And his company out won't be casting it. We'll go ahead and play our Sedge Sliver. Hope to hit a swamp. If we hit a swamp, we can actually kill Karn. Of course, assuming our opponent doesn't do anything with his 10 mana. So it was turn 3 Tron, turn 3 Karn, Turn 4 Warmquill plus return, turn 5 Ulamog. So it's just something that really needs to exist in Modern, I guess. It's a better format because of it. Let's see if we can sideboard. I don't know what we sideboard against the deck. We do have this, try to tap down their permanents in their upkeep, which can be very good. Homing Sliver to try to find it. Frenetic Slivers to try to deal with the ramp. Don't think the Warping Whales do too much here. Counter target sorcery. Yep, not exactly what we need, so that's pretty irrelevant there. The rest of this seems fine, honestly. The Dark Heart doesn't seem good. I mean, the lifelink is probably less needed. Like, I kind of like it, but it's probably not super needed. After that, I guess we can cut the Spellskite. I don't know. It doesn't really do much against him. It can protect us from the turn 3 Karn, but we basically can't beat a turn 3 Karn anyways, so we'll just we'll give this a go here. All right, we got to be on the play at least. I guess we keep this hand. It's certainly not exciting, but we have the Gale Rider Sliver on turn 1. We have nothing on turn 2, but we then get to do Harmonic Sliver, which could be good, into Collected Company. And obviously the real draw here is Collected Company. Maybe our opponent mulled to 6, so if he doesn't just naturally have turn 3 Karn into turn 4 everything, into turn 5 everything, we might get a try to interact with him here a little bit. Then again, maybe not. Expedition map. Yeah, let's hit a nice 2-drop here. I'd even accept Aether Vial, I guess. Oh, a 2-drop. Oh, turn 3 Collected Company. I accept. Alright, well, let's get in for 1. Slivers definitely does not up the power as much as Merfolk does, because all their creatures are costed small already. You know, the Lords aren't as big naturally. Well, he has turn 3 Tron yet again, as we play a skill-intensive game here. I guess I'm just going to get in there with a Gale Rider Sliver. I mean, we're being fairly obvious with what we're doing here, but I don't want to give him all the targets or all the information quite yet. We have Munivolt as well, and that could be pretty important here, I think. Let's see what he has for his big turn 3 play. 7 mana. Nothing. That's probably not good for us. Well, if it was the plan before, it's the plan now. Collected Company. Alright. Sedge Sliver and a Predatory Sliver, okay? Alright, so we don't control a swamp. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out. This is a forest, and this is a Sliver Hive, and this is a Mutavault. Is this a bug? It's a good bug. I like it if it is. I mean, we're gonna have a swamp now. That's really weird, though. Happily shock ourselves. And try to hold back the rest of this. Let's go ahead and get in there with what we can. I'm going to leave back a couple mana to regenerate. Maybe we get in there for... I guess what if we do this? What if we get in there for 11? Because getting in there... So this is 4, 7, 11. 11... 14, God, 17, that's so close. Could we killed him if we had played this? I just assume we couldn't have. We wouldn't have been able to activate this, so it would have been 4, 8, 12, 17 anyways. Yeah, so this is better. We don't commit more to the board. I'm kind of tempted to hold these two back to regenerate, because it feels like if we regenerate a couple of our guys, he really can't do much. Of course, we could knock him down to 1, and then all we have to do is sneak a Mutavault attack through. Which might be good, but I feel like anything he's going to do that beats us killing him next turn will be stopped by a regenerate anyways. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. This allows us to keep multiple attackers plus a Sinew Sliver on our next turn. I guess there's something to be said for the vigilance in this case. Vigilance Sliver. Well, our opponent's in a little bit of trouble here. Yeah, he's going to go digging for the stirrings here. I don't know what his hand looks like if he had turn 3 Tron, but nothing to do with it. We turned the corner very quick there. Almost had a turn 4 kill against our opponent doing no damage to themselves. If he'd done any damage to himself, we could have had a turn 4 kill. Alright, so he found another mine, but he's already played a land. So he needs like a Worm Coil, but that doesn't work because our guys fly. I think he's just dead here. Yeah, well, does this matter? I can't think of anything here that would make it matter. Let's go ahead and get on in there. Let's hold it. We can regenerate 3 guys this way. Simian Spirit Guide Kozilek's return? That doesn't even do anything to our board. I don't know what's happening over there. Just nothing, I guess. Interesting. Okay, well, let's try game 3. Let's hope that things go well. We definitely got there that time, but our opponent apparently just had nothing to do. I don't know what his hand could have possibly looked like to not do anything with 7 mana on turn 3. Just nothing but Ulamogs, I guess. Oh, 1-1. See if we can steal one here. I think it's going to involve us having a Mana Weft Sliver and an Aether Vial. I think that's where things are going to need to start here. Maybe a Mutavault. But we'll see. Well, we got the Mutavaults. We just can't actually cast any of our spells. Jesus. Well, I can't keep that either. Our opponent also went to 5. We'll keep. This hand casts some stuff, I guess. It doesn't cast that much. Okay, we do need the green. That means we can fetch Godless Shrine and be able to cast most of our spells. So we both mulled to 5. This is going to be a weird one. Okay, so we'll get the Godless Shrine. We'll lead with the Sinew Sliver. And then follow up with the Harmonic Sliver, which may actually, depending on what his hand looks like, maybe we hack an Expedition map or something. Oh. Well, there it is. We would have needed to be on the play to do that, though. I want to fetch. Let me fetch. Okay. Well, this could be bad news. It's on a turn 3, Tron at least, right? So getting Overgrown Tomb doesn't do much here. Getting Godless Shrine does. But it has to be Godless. It just has to be Godless Shrine. Okay, that's fine. Another Blur Sliver, huh? Right, we get our Sinew Sliver out here. If something weird happens, we can cast. We can activate our Mutavault next turn. But it looks like our opponent's on track for a turn 4 Tron. It's still sort of turn. I mean, it's a turn 3 Tron. He just doesn't have access to the full mana. Mold to 5 still has it on turn 3 though. It's rough. See if he does anything with the 2 mana. I'd love for him to play like another expedition map or something that we can snag with. But not lucky, it seems. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and play our guys out. Not much we can do here. We've drawn 2 off-color cards and a land that we scryed, so both of our actual draw steps have been very, very bad. I guess that it's bound to happen sometimes when you play a 5-color deck with Mutavaults, but and done in by our mulligans here more than anything, as our opponent still has 10 mana on turn 4. Yep, it's an Oblivion Stone. We're going to make you pop it at least. Okay. Go ahead and attack him first. It was a good draw. Hopefully lets us get in here. Alternatively, I could have diffusion slivered to kill it and then still activating Mutavault. But it turns out he's actually just going to take it. Now he does, I mean, he gets 3 of our creatures here, but we can come back with Haste Guys after that. And maybe it's better to play out 1 Haste Guy there to save this, but I don't think this matters that much. I like preserving the Haste Guy. I don't know. Maybe it would have been better to burn a Haste Guy there, being slightly more mana efficient. I guess really I should have just activated. Yeah, I should have just activated my Mutavault in the first place, as a matter of fact. Got in for 2 more damage. Okay, well he's got a Wormcoil, but that's not unbeatable. We just need to draw well. Like a Collected Company off the top would be great. I mean, yeah, we missed damage. I think I misplayed that last time. We should have either done 2 more damage to him or burned one of the Haste Slivers. That said, I don't think that 2 life is making a difference in this one. We're either going to get a big enough board that we have plenty lethal, or we're just not going to. And I would say that drawing Aether Vial is not doing so. But he's got 2 cards in hand, one of which is a land, which is just more Urza land. So we'll go ahead and populate the board here a little bit. Tells me he doesn't have anything. I mean, he would have cast it anyways, but he doesn't have, you know, World Breaker or Nulamog or anything like that, because he would have done that. He would have done it, obviously, but he would have also searched for a Sanctum of Ugin in all likelihood. So we'll take some hits here from the Wormcoil and hope to draw a Collected Company. I actually cannot cast the fusion or our 4 mana Sliver that allows us to tap things down, but we don't have a board anyways. We're gonna get Pyroclasmed. Fair enough. Yeah, we've gotten quite wrecked. See, I would have held the Harmonic Sliver too and played the Sedge Sliver instead in order to preserve the ability to kill Wormcoils, but we didn't have the mana to do that. We just hope he doesn't realize we don't have any more basics. We're thus far just getting soundly wrecked by our own deck. And this is a good way to make him do it, I guess. He's probably going to do it anyways. So maybe it's better to just pass there and hope he doesn't hit the Mutavault. I don't know. Yep. I mean, I think that doesn't really matter much. He's just always he's gonna have that available to him the whole game. Maybe I shouldn't have, though. Well, we have a Gale Rider Sliver on the next turn. Down to 9. He is up to 26 and has all the mana in the world. And there's our land, so it would seem that throwing our Mutavault under the bus at least isn't going to matter. You know how we could beat this? Sedge Sliver. Sedge Sliver block regenerate all day long would work wonders here. I think we basically, it's going to be Collected Company or Bust off the top of our deck. And we need him to continue whiffing, all of which seems very unlikely, but those are our outs. I'm just glad we were pick up one game off of him. I mean, this deck is sometimes very dumb and can just destroy decks like ours. Right, again, we could have got in for 2 damage there, but I didn't know. My thoughts on it were, one, that the 2 damage is again unlikely to matter because, but also if he had done or had something, I wanted to be able to block. Okay, so I'm going to take this up to 3 in case we draw Sedge Sliver. We did not. We drew an Aether Vial. Okay, well, I think we're going to throw the Gill Rider Sliver under the bus here. Our opponent has whiffed very hard, and our own deck is just not cooperating. Yeah, well, still alive for the moment. Alright, I would not like to use that ability. I would like to use this one. Oh my gosh. That's what we wanted to draw. That's why I fetched this Watery Grave instead of an Overgrown Tomb. Ooh, it even has haste so we can attack. Okay, well, we've dealt with the Wormcoil, sort of. Now we just need to hit Collected Company so that we can tap like 12 lands every turn. I don't really know what the plan is. We're so dead to him drawing like actually anything, but whatever. We're not dead for the moment. Alright. That's that one, no. This one, yes. Mana Weft Sliver. Well, that's not quite it, but let's go ahead and get in there. Get in for 4. Somehow this game isn't over. We are at 2. We are not dead. Oh, he's continuing to have some lands. I want to know what the rest of his cards are, though. Alright, let's get our Mana Weft Sliver in here. Uh-oh. He's tanking. Is this the Kozilek's Return in the game? It's a sudden shock. I see. Oh, it has split second. Wow. Oh, he was just... Okay, he puts us up to... Oh my gosh. That's one way to lose a game. I was like, well, he could just... Sudden shock has split second, so we can't respond by tapping his Wormcoil, and we've died. Well, I was right. That 2 damage didn't matter. Oh man, what a blowout. Can't play around that one. Jesus, Tron. Mutavault, Sliver Hive. We could have made 1/1s with our Sliver Hive. We actually could have been kind of good at that point in the game. He couldn't just... we were so dead. We were going to draw all 4 vials. What a silly match.